This is my second video tutorial on how to do a headstand. Now this one's going to touch the bound headstand versus the tripod headstand, but if you haven't checked out my video tutorial on the tripod headstand, I highly recommend that as some of the cues will be the same. The way I like to get started is from the ground first. First thing that's going to be touching the ground is my head. A lot of yoga instructors or instructors in general will say you want the crown of your head on the ground. Again, I talk about this on the tripod headstand video, but to find the crown of your head, I like to do a little L, and then I like to put my thumb between my eyebrows, and then where my index finger lands is where the crown of the head is. You can see the crown of the head is right here. What I'll do is get in the tabletop position, lean forward, put the crown of my head there, and then my hands, what they're going to be doing is they're like in a little nestled position like this. The way you want these hands is to cradle the head, but instead of having your forearms way back here or in here, I like to do them about shoulder distance away. You can see how that kind of looks right here, or shoulder distance away. Now what's going to happen is we'll work with the belly. Once you have the hand set up as well as the head, we'll work with what the belly is doing. Now in my tripod headstand tutorial, I do talk about this as well, is you really don't want a arched back like this or a back bend. You really want a round, like a cat pose. Think of rounding the back. What that's going to do is create what's called a hollow body. So instead of like this, everything flaring out, you're actually rounding. The belly button is going towards the spine, the ribs are hugging in, and my butt is actually not sticking out, it's actually flexed in. Remember those cues for the core? We'll get started again. Crown of the head is here, and then my hands are going to cradle the crown of my head. And then what I like to do with the legs versus kicking back here, same as the tripod headstand, is walk it in, walk it in, walk it in. And once you get to a comfortable position, you can lift one leg up, the other leg, and then you can either do one or both legs, but then you just go up. And then you can bring it down slowly, and that is what's called the tuck position. Again, you can do one leg at a time or both legs. Both legs is going to be a little more difficult, but if you do one leg, find your balance, the other leg, find your balance, and then go up, you'll be able to get it a lot easier. The main thing is, I was told by a coach, and I believe this holds true for a lot of inversions and even handstands, is speed is not your friend. You really want slow and controlled movements. And the next one we'll talk about is the split position. Also, for beginners, I do recommend having a wall behind you, just because if you do fall over, it's going to catch you. But once you become a little more controlled where you're not having to touch the wall, that's when I would say to come off the wall. That way you kind of have it slow and controlled at that point in time, and you're not flopping over. The next one is the split position. Similar to the tripod headstand, we went over split legs, crown your head on the ground, and you're forming a triangle here. Once you have that triangle set, you cradle the hands over the head, and you walk it in, walk it in, walk it in. Now what I like to do is actually on my tippy toes, so on my tippy toes, and the top leg lifts the bottom leg up. And then you can see I'm in a stacked position there. Then you'll come back down the same way. Now to come back down, I extend my hips over here to counterbalance the leg coming down. Again, similar to the tripod headstand, it's just we're in a bound headstand. We're not using your hands this time. The last one is the most challenging one. It's called the pike press headstand. This one is the hardest one because both legs are going to be a pike position and you're going to go up very slowly. So I'll demonstrate that one. And we get set up from the ground first. Crown of the head. So you don't want to be way back here on the head, right back here on the back of the head. It's really about in the middle. And then you're going to walk the legs in as much as you can, tippy toes, and then you go up. And then you go back down. To go back down, I'm sending the hips towards the wall. I'm trying to go back down very slowly. Those are the three headbound positions that I know how to enter it and exit it. Again, if you haven't watched my tripod headstand video, I would see that one before you do the bound headstand. It's going to be a lot easier if you have two hands on the ground. And then the bound headstand is a little harder, in my opinion, just because you have your head and your forearms. There are still 3 points on the ground, so it's your head and your forearms, right? Similar to a triangle. So again, you want to formulate that triangle. Now, when I was first starting, I will tell you, similar to my tripod headstand journey, I was kicking back here, but the more you can bring the feet in, it elevates, it stacks you better. You really want the hips under the head, and then also you want your feet over your hips, right? So that's kind of the stack. And the more you can get stacked, the better it's going to be and the easier it's going to get. And it's, quite frankly, more mechanically efficient versus picking up way back here. I hope that was helpful. If you do, similar to my other tutorial videos, if you do have any comments or recommendations or maybe something that I left out that can help others get their bound headstand, please drop it in the comments below. And if you did find this video useful, please feel free to share it and like it, and let me know what you thought. The next video tutorial I will be doing is going to be the forearm stand. Stay tuned for that one.